Hey, you guys, it's Megan from Create Your Future. I have a success story today that I'm going to share with you from one of my clients, and I'm going to go through everything. But before I do that, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video and share. Also, I'm available for coaching. The links are in the description below, as well as I have some courses. My clients are getting some major successes of the people who've taken the courses, and those are also in the description link below. Okay, so anyway, I have a success story about a client who turned a situation around basically within a week after our coaching session. She was able to do this. When she first came to me, she was stuck in a rejection story, and he had broken up with her. Broken up and said, it's over, and they were no contact. Then we had the coaching session, and lo and behold, guys, it was her birthday, and she wanted to, during a coaching call, she wanted to make sure that she manifested something special from him, her SP, on her birthday. So he did. He brought her flowers with a really amazing, beautiful bouquet of flowers with a vase that was very suited to something that she would like. Also her favorite cake, which was cheesecake, a bottle of wine, a t-shirt about something that she really likes, something that they do together, and then a card that was so heartfelt, and it actually said in there, "You are amazing," okay, which was awesome because that was one of her affirmations that he was going to say also, and he reflected that back. As we always say, you want to try this out on many, many things to see how this works, and one thing that's great to do is try to have your SP say something, and so she was able to do that. So like I said, when she first came to me, she was really, really upset with herself because she felt like she had ruined the whole entire relationship. She felt that she and her SP are perfect. They were so in love. And then she viewed that she had done something in her perception that she had done something to ruin the whole entire relationship. So she'd made a mistake and she could not forgive herself. And he came to her and said, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't forgive you for what you've done. I love you, but I can't do this." So again, there are no contacts. And talking to her, we came up with strategy. And one strategy was revision, okay? Because everybody's you pushed out. So revision, when you're doing that, you're changing the conception or your perception of what happens, okay? And that changes everything else for what's going to manifest outwardly, because he had broken up with her and said that he needed space and just couldn't get over what she had done. So what I did is I explained that he was just reflecting back to her how she viewed the situation, herself and him. So she had to go back and revise those different things there, okay? The situation, herself and him. Okay, in other words, she could not forgive herself because she thought she'd mess it up. And she also saw him as someone who is stubborn and can't get over it. So you had to revise that, because if she feels that she's somebody who is not forgivable and that he's somebody that is not forgiving, he has no choice but to reflect that. Okay, so we had to go over and revise that. So revision is a really, really great tool. It's very, very powerful, and it can change the events for tomorrow or the upcoming days when you use revision. So when you're revising something, what she wanted to do is revise her perception of what happened. So again, I mentioned that she was reliving the event and thinking that she was unforgiving, she'd screwed up, and also seeing him as somebody that was unforgivable. So she had to change that. So revision is reviewing the event, like for this event, reviewing it and just changing what you didn't like. Okay, so that's what she needed to do. She needed to review the event that she didn't like and change it into something that she wanted. So with this, anybody can do this. So you just review the event and you revise it. You don't judge it, okay? Because again, remember, she was judging the event. So before we revised it, she was going back and judging herself and him from that event. Judging meaning she was not forgiving herself for doing that, but also judging him, saying he was a stubborn person. Okay, and that was a story she was stuck in. So that was going to be outpictured out there. So in her imagination, in our session, we rewrote and revised the event in a way that it should have gone. And we had to do it in a way that felt natural for her. Okay, and then we rewrote that. So it was the first thing. All right, so we wrote it so it felt kind of real. And then anytime that she would think about this event, she would revise it, hear the inner conversations, how she wanted it to go, to the point that just felt like it was taking on all the tones of reality So it just felt like the situation was so real. She started doing that until it felt real. Okay, so when that happens, you want to go within and see what you really, really wanted, how you wanted the situation, and be honest without judgment. But that's what we did. She went in, what does she really want? Honestly, not what she thought society or all these other things of what we think should happen, but what did she really want from that? Okay, and everybody's going to be different. So for her was that she wanted for him to forgive her, and she didn't want to be labeled this bad person. So we had to go in and revise that, and come up with different meanings and change it to a point that felt totally natural for her, where she wasn't feeling like she was this bad person anymore. And also that she wasn't seeing him as a stubborn person who wasn't forgiving. So we changed the whole meaning and changed the conception of herself and changed the conception of him through that revision technique. And she also heard him saying in her conversations what she wanted him to say, okay? And she was able to see that version of him as someone who was somebody that was not stubborn, who someone's forgiving. But she also had to look at herself and see the difference in herself as somebody who is forgivable. Okay, instead of berating herself, which is what most of us do, because that's our upbringing, right? We're taught if we can't make mistakes, or maybe from an early age, if we make mistakes, we're not lovable because we have the underlying belief. So this was her underlying belief. So we had to work through that. You can make mistakes. Let's change the perception. It's not that big a deal, and then what did she want from it? What was her outcome from that event? So changing that and revising that event was able to change everything else, because that's how revision works. You go through any event that you didn't like, you revise it without judgment, and you change it into what you want. And through that also is, using what we talk about with, everybody's you pushed out, and your conception of yourself and conception of the other person. And for her birthday, like I said, she was able, so that, remember, they were no contact. He had broken it off. They were no contact. She revised this. She kept on to her mental diet. She did the work, okay? She applied it. She did not go down the feeling like a victim. Anytime she thought of the news story, she was on the news story, okay? She revised it, was on the news story of conception of him, when she thought about him as well as herself. And she was able to manifest this huge, amazing birthday where they had no contact, remember? So she was able to manifest a beautiful bouquet of flowers with a vase that, she explained it in so much detail to me. And I could see that it was something, it was so thoughtful, the kind of vase he'd even picked out for her, because it was so like kind of her style, as well as her favorite cake, her favorite bottle of wine, and a t-shirt that they have a hobby that they do together. And so he bought something for that. So it was very thoughtful gift. And he also gave her a very thoughtful card, which she was she just felt so, just so good about it, and she was able to manifest that all. And like I also said, he had said, the card said, "You're amazing." And that was one of her affirmations. And one of the things she had worked through in her conversation as well was hearing him say, "You're amazing." And he was reflecting that out to her. Okay. And then they had this amazing birthday. They spent a couple of days together, and everything's, going back in the trajectory of where she wants it to be. So that is an amazing turnaround story. And any one of you guys can do that at any point, because nothing, as we say over and over again, is real. I mean, we can change anything. Nothing's solid. Okay, so if you see something in your reality that you don't like, you can change it. And revision is a great way to do that. So I'm so happy for her. I'm very excited because I think everybody kind of wants that for their birthday. So good for her. And I intend that I'm very excited for her, very proud of her. She did the work. And just like all of you guys, each one of you deserve to have what you want in your reality. So being specific, stop judging yourself, and giving yourself permission for what you want to have is key. So we also came up with some mantras and some intentions as well. And we thought about herself, him, and the situation, because that's all encompassing how you can manifest. So anyway, that's my success story for today. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I'm available for coaching if you'd like help, and a couple courses out there as well. And all the descriptions are in the link below. All right, guys, thanks for watching my video. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate all of you.